talk about maybe just what's your future vision for the St. Pete LGBTQ community. You and Lee are such a huge pillar. Do you have like a future vision of maybe what you would ideally like to see, or?
I really came to know the community through coming out at 31 and going to places like, Suncoast and getting to P-Town and larger town, Fort Lauderdale. And so really, I believe that every day we're at the bar, we meet people that have moved or want to move to St. Pete because it's such an accepting city.
Yeah.
And so I believe St. Pete could be a better version of Wilton Manors. And I like Wilton Manors, but I would tell you that it's very different than St. Pete,
Definitely.
right?
Yeah.
And even if we had that many focused businesses around our community concentrated in an area,
right.
I think it would be different. It would be a different experience. Like P-Town is totally different than Fire Island if you go.
Right.
And so, but they're both very gay places. And if you go to Puerto Vallarta, it's, again, a very gay-focused tourist area. So I believe St. Pete can be on that map and can be that space. And so it's about encouraging other businesses. And I have people tell me all the time, why are y'all trying to put every gay business out of, and when I say gay, it's because it's easier than saying LGBTQ+.
Right.
Gotcha.
But why are y'all trying to put every other business out of business? And I'm like, we're not. We focus on doing business right, or I'm not going to do it working 7 days a week.
We want to do something fun, what we want to have. That when we go someplace, we want to go to someplace fun and exciting. And just because we create that atmosphere and feel like we're trying to outdo everybody else in town, is not because we're after them. It's just that's what we want to do. We want to create a great space for everybody.
Right.
And have a fun place.
My true passion is really interior desigin and what I do and have done for a while now.
Okay.
And what I have school
the Hollander, right?
We designed the redesign. No, I didn't do the pool. We redesigned all the rooms at the Hollander, but we from beginning designed the Avalon, which is next door to it.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
and so and through that connection, and I do a lot of design of commercial spaces. Like we designed Flute and Dram down on Beach Drive. We designed Pulpo, which is the kind of the brick and mortar chef group over there. We designed their new concept Pulpo, which is on 22nd and Central, which is amazing. If you haven't been there, you should go. Yeah, it's awesome, isn't it?
It is awesome.
So we designed things like that. So that's my true passion. I obviously have hospitality in my background through working for Darden. But I think St. Pete really could be a destination for our community. And if people only see it in June, they have a skewed perspective of what St. Pete's about, right?
No, that's absolutely right.
And I take the mentality, like we have a big property to fill that costs a lot of money to run daily. People are like, they don't understand the magnitude of having a 100-year-old building that leaks air conditioning out every side of it and fast. And so when you're faced with a $25,000 electric bill every month, it's stifling to know what you need to bring in volume-wise to keep that up.
Right.
And that's why places like Suncoast and Flamingo had trouble doing so. The properties are so big that literally if they're empty, they're sucking money out of your bank account.
Right.
And so in order to do that, you also need to be smart. Like I looked at P-Town's model and they have to make money in 7 months of the year. And so they've been smart. And every week in P-Town, there is some kind of event that happens there. And that model, I said to my team, we got to figure that out, because if not, as much as I love our passion project of the Mari Jean and that complex, it will not be around. It literally, I mean, it's not making money. I can promise you that. It's still in its infancy stages of needing, funds to keep it going every day, especially in the slower months. And so we've had to say, how do we attract people here all the time?
Okay.
And so we every month now, we put out a schedule full of events and things to keep people wanting to come back, not only to us, but to St. Pete.
Yeah.
And gay men more than lesbian women, I will tell you, gay men don't like to stay in one bar in an evening. they like to go to multiple bars, and that's
That's
why Wilton
true.
Manors
Yeah, that's true.
has had
Yes.
such success.
They
I mean,
wanna cruise
I know
around.
us, if we're on
We'll go see
vacation,
what's over there,
we'll go to
yes.
5 bars in one night
Right.
just because it's stimulating to see other people and other things.
Right.
And so we're living in a world of foolishness. If we believe cocktail should be the only bar out
Right.
there,
Right.
it won't be successful. And so our model is built upon St. Pete growing for our community.
Right.
So having more businesses that are LGBTQ owned. Competition is difficult, but at the same time, if you focus on what you're doing right within your walls, things will go well for you. I believe that. I've been taught that by my dad, who had his own businesses. And so we try to do everything to the best that we can. And that means supporting organizations like St. Pete Pride. Do we need to give them $150,000 worth of stuff during St. Pete Pride? We would probably be busy in reality without it. But we believe that that helps propel them, which helps propel the city, which helps us eventually do well.
Right.
Right.
And so if you have that mentality,
Combination.
then you stop the hate and the competitiveness and that's why it's frustrating to us to get that kind of energy out of it, because
Yeah.
it's like we're here to, again, we don't do this just because we want to work 7 days a week. We do like downtime. It's about really bringing people an experience to St. Pete and enjoying it for what we fell in love. He grew up here. I fell in love with St. Pete. He grew up and was raised here all his life, and so he's loved it all his life. But I came here literally from Orlando to visit friends and was like, I'm going to retire there. And I always had that vision kind of in my head. It's like, I want to go there for retirement because it's warm, it's by water, and it has a city involved, which it actually has 2 cities involved.
Right.
So the city environment gives me that stimulation that I need from an ADHD side, and the water gives me that relaxation side that I talked about earlier, which is the only place I can kind of have downtime.